48 teams, 3-team groups, a third-place spot that actually matters, and a bracket so complicated that even seasoned football fans have had to Google it twice. The 2026 World Cup format looks, on the surface, like someone designed it by committee after a very long lunch. But here's the thing. Once you understand why it was built this way, it starts to make a strange kind of sense. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll break the whole thing down. Let's start with what you already know. For decades, the World Cup had 32 teams, 8 groups of 4. Top 2 from each group go through. Clean, simple, satisfying. It was a format so logical that nobody really complained about it. So naturally, FIFA changed it. Let's start with what you already know. For decades, the World Cup had 32 teams, 8 groups of 4. Top 2 from each group go through. Clean, simple, satisfying. It was a format so logical that nobody really complained about it. So naturally, FIFA changed it. Starting in 2026, the World Cup expands to 48 teams. That's a 50% jump. And the reason isn't complicated, it's money. More teams means more countries are invested. More countries invested means more broadcast deals, more sponsorships, more eyeballs. FIFA isn't shy about this. They basically said it out loud. But here's where it gets interesting. Adding 16 teams sounds easy. Fitting them into a tournament structure is anything but. Here's the problem FIFA had to solve. 48 doesn't divide cleanly into groups of 4. You'd get 12 groups, which works mathematically. But then you'd have 24 teams advancing from the group stage, and 24 is a nightmare number for a knockout bracket. Knockout rounds need powers of 2. 16, 32, 64. 24 fits none of those. So FIFA had a choice. Force the math or get creative. They got creative. And by creative, I mean slightly chaotic. The original plan, the one FIFA announced years in advance, was 16 groups of 3 teams each. 3-team groups. Top 2 advance. Simple enough, right? Except, 3-team groups have a notorious problem, and anyone who follows football knows exactly what I'm talking about. When the last 2 games of a group are played simultaneously, you can't predict the outcome you need. But when one team already knows what result they need before their final game kicks off, that's an invitation for something ugly. In a 3-team group, the final game has 2 teams who both know exactly what scoreline protects them. In 1982, West Germany and Austria played out a result that eliminated Algeria. They never admitted anything. They didn't have to. The entire stadium booed for 90 minutes. FIFA has tried to solve this with simultaneous scheduling. Whether it's enough, well, we'll find out. Now here's where the format gets genuinely interesting. Because FIFA didn't stick with 16 groups of 3. They changed course. The updated plan is 12 groups of 4 teams. Classic setup, except now, instead of just the top 2 advancing, the top 3 from each group go through. That's 36 teams. And then the best 8 third-place finishers also advance, which gets you to 32, which is your clean knockout bracket. So the format that makes no sense is actually just the old format wearing a slightly larger hat. The difference is that third place now means something. Finish third in your group and you might still be in the tournament. Might. It depends on how other groups go. That uncertainty, that's by design. It keeps more games meaningful. More meaningful games means more viewers staying tuned in. FIFA has done the math. Of course they have. In theory, this creates incredible drama in the final round of group games. You've got 48 teams playing, all trying to calculate whether finishing third is good enough. And the answer changes in real time depending on what's happening in other groups simultaneously. In practice, this is exactly the kind of chaos that fills social media and keeps people glued to their screens, refreshing standings calculators. Which is, again, the point. Let's talk about the host countries. Because 2026 isn't just big in terms of teams. It's big in terms of geography. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are co-hosting. 16 cities, 3 different countries, across multiple time zones. The tournament spans an area roughly the size of Western Europe. A team could play their first group game in Toronto and their second in Los Angeles. Those two cities are farther apart than London and Moscow.